Hey Homo sapiens and Marbites, welcome back to the channel. I am Rogue Marby Scott, of course, and for you new watchers and subscribers, welcome. So today I'm going to be doing an inspired look, another inspired look. So the first one that I did was David Bowie, and today, well, clearly I haven't got the ice or anything done. This is going to be an inspired look. I love this person to death. Also, it's kind of like a collaboration as well, so it's not actually, well, when I say it's kind of like a collaboration, I was asked to do something using something, so therefore I'm going to be using a specific palette for this look. It's gonna be hard. I'm sure it's gonna be hard, but yeah, we're gonna get on to it. Before we get started, I want you to guess who I'm inspired by today. Or what? What am I inspired by? I'll give you a little hint. Okay, on to the makeup. So, using the Looking for Wonderland Magical Face and Eye palettes, we're going to use that eggshell colour, and we're going to use that from the outer corner of our eyes, and we're going to blend that into our crease, being careful not to blend too high because this is our base and transition colour before we go on to our next. We're leaving some space from our outer corners before we go in with the camel colour. It's a camel kind of taupey colour, a nice brown. Might I say, these eyeshadows are very smooth, so we're just going to blend that in with a fluffy brush, and then we're going to go in with our black with a tapered flat brush. Now I'm packing this on because I don't want the black to fade out to non-existence, so I'm just packing that color on before I go on to use a fluffy brush to blend it out and wing it out to create a nice smoky eyed look before we cut the crease. Using a fluffy blending brush, I am now blending that black in a diagonal motion towards my inner corners, just so that I keep that taupey white eggshell colour still there before I go on to cut my crease. Now I'm blending this in a specific way so that I create a wing as well. Also adding a little bit more black onto the outer corners just to, you know, sharpen that colour. Now it's time to cut a new crease, and we are going to place that on the back of our hands. I'm using concealer from Primark, and this is in Toffee from the My Perfect Match selection. So I'm just using a flat brush to create the crease, and I do blink just to make that crease a bit more prominent. So if you see me blink and you see like a little smudge, that is why, like right there. So as you can see, I'm just concentrating and making sure that this color is really opaque, and I do go on with the eyeshadows on top whilst this is still semi-moist, but I'm making sure right now that I'm sketching out that crease properly. Now we're going to go in with that nice shimmery rosebush green, and we are going to now place that over our crease that we've now created. Now I'm working in sections at the time, but we're making sure that we need this color to be as opaque as possible because this is meant to be a dramatic look, not simple or basic. Dramatic. Now it's time to create our wing, and we're using a felt tip pen from Primark. It's an eyeliner pen and it's in black, and we're going to make this wing very small because the person I have in mind who has inspired me does not particularly use big eyeliner looks. She never really did. So we're just making it small just to define our eyes before we put on any lashes. Going in with this matte fern green color, we're going to underline our underlids, and we're going to blend that in just before we get to our inner corners. Using the black, we're going to connect the bottom with the top, and we're only going to go halfway through. Using the orange shimmer shade, we're going to use a cotton bud and place that in our inner corners as our highlight. So the Looking for Wonderland Magical Face and Eye palette comes with a drawer and it has highlights. We're going to use that bronze and then we're going to go in using the gold just to make that highlight pop a little bit more. Using a wet sponge, we are now going to marinate those highlighters into our skin. Now it's time for lips. Using the Alice in Wonderland inspired lipstick trio, I'm going in with Raspberry, and this is going to be my base color before I go on to blend and create a new shade. Using the Looking for Wonderland palette, I'm using a rose shimmery shade just to complement that lipstick, and I'm going to place that on the inner sections of my lips, and then I'm going to blend in some black on the outer corners of my lips. Then once I have got the opacity that I need, I'm going to finger blend. Absolutely happy with that blend. I'm now going to go in with some red over my middle sections of the lips, and then I'm going to go in with a nice pearly kind of pale egg color to go on top of that, just to bring out those lips and make them look a little bit more juicy. I'm going to go back in with the highlighter that I've already used and do my nose just to make it a little bit more shiny, and then I'm going to do my eyebrows just to make them pop and carved out a little bit more. This is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I don't know, have you guessed who I am yet? Have you guessed who I've been inspired by? So Homo sapiens, I have now finished the look, and if you don't know who I'm inspired by, that is coming up. So clearly I'm using part of the Primark collection for the Alice in Wonderland Looking for Wonderland palette, and I'm also using the lipsticks. I chose to use this because when I tweeted that I was doing a first impressions on Twitter, they got back to me and they were just like, they wanted to see a look, and I just thought maybe I should just mix it up a little bit and, you know, continue with a series that I want to go on with, and also, you know, create this look. So this makeup is inspired by greens and dark lips. It's very smoky, very dark in certain places, and it is inspired by one of my favorite artists of all time, favorite R&B artist, a woman who is also a legend in my eyes, and has departed from this universe, well, not universe, from this plane of life, and it's Aaliyah. So why was I inspired to do Aaliyah? Well, like I said already, she's one of my favorite R&B artists of all time. God rest her soul. And yeah, I chose to do her, and the inspiration for this look was her We Need a Resolution video, because I just loved all the greens and everything, and I also loved that she has like dark lips. I was going to go the Akasha way, where she's in Queen of the Damned, but I thought, no, if you've not seen, it's hard to matte looks, just because it does have a lot of shimmer in the palette, as well as the lipsticks. The lipsticks are quite bright, so as you saw, I used some eyeshadow to dim that brightness out and add highlights and shadows into the look also. So yeah, I am inspired by Aaliyah. I'm sorry that I didn't wear a wig or the half eye or, you know. But yeah, this was inspired by Aaliyah, and we'll get back to you. We'll get back to you. I'll see you soon in the next video. Ciao for now.